Science Fiction Pathways. Galactic Command Series. Galactic Command gets back to science fiction basics, concentrating on themes affecting the descendants of humanity, yet the series retains the essence of science fiction worlds and other worlds. There are ships and ships to transport personnel to planetary surfaces. With a military command structure that fosters loyalty, the crew voyages are packed with adventure and a quest for knowledge. Join Commander John Ross and the crew of Explorer Spaceship 14 in their voyages throughout the galaxy. The Nebula Planet. Fitton's Galactic Command Series. Voyage 24. Commander John Ross and the crew of ESS-14, after the Antarian War, journey to a planet bordering a nebula on the edge of the galaxy. Ross chases a derelict ESS commander and his Antarian conspirator. Beyond the nebula is an enclosed solar system, controlled by omnipotent life forms that desire a cataclysmic future for Galactic Command. Reunion. Commander John Ross leaves with his first officer Lindy for downtime with his family on the resort starship Earthstar. Ross dreads the arrival of his cold and calculating intelligentsia father, John Ross, Sr., who was away during Ross's childhood working for the Command Intelligence Service. His brother's ship is hijacked with intense tug-drag beams to the planet Skiva 10 Gal. Ross and Lindy appropriate a hotel ship, but are also taken to Skiva 10 Gal by the tug-drag beams. They are prisoners of the Soul domain. Soul is a Psyvac, a human whose neurological pathways have merged with advanced nanocircuits. Psyvacs are programmed and follow order. Human destiny and aspirations are stripped away. Such beings are the result of a runaway command project called the Pegasus Marashili. As Lindy and his family face revacking at Soul City, Ross escapes to the Heartland with his father, gaining a closer bond as they search for the director of the Pegasus Marashili project, Dr. Tsiolkovsky. After encountering a divergent religious order called the Elias sect, Ross and his father re-enter Soul City for a final showdown with Solution. But Soul has joined forces with Ross's defeated enemy from the Antarian War, Rafak, and a rogue command ESS commander Jack Bragg. Using the revacking technology, they have taken over ESS ships, including Ross's own vessel, to avenge the Antarian loss to Command during the war. All of Command is threatened unless Soul and Rafek are stopped. Harry Cobb, Intersolar System Private Investigator. Harry Cobb was a former intelligence officer, now an Intersolar System Private Investigator. His investigation takes place within the solar system. Cobb is tough with a direct approach to both his clients and criminals. This is an experienced man with contacts and friends, males and female, around the solar system. Cobb operates in the not-too-distant future, complete with advances and science fiction. The Ice of Triton. Aboard a space cruise liner with a young woman named Angelique, Harry Cobb receives an emergency call from his old friend Mark Belkin that his wife Jenna has been murdered in a tracer explosion on Neptune's moon, Triton. Cobb embarks for Triton, but is kidnapped and almost killed in deep space. He follows the murder trail through Station 32 on Triton, encountering the powerful Levinsky cartel and Buck Wiley, a wacky local inspector. Yet, someone is still trying to kill him. Only on Olympus Mons on Mars does he find answers with the help of Angelique. With the entire Intrasolar System Investigative Bureau descending upon him, he solves the crime in the ice mountains on Triton. The Dust of Mars. Harry Cobb, an Intersolar System Private Investigator. Cobb wants answers when a potential client is murdered in the Martian desert. He is hindered by the powerful Turcotte family and suspects one of their employees. Aided by his investigative team, Cobb believes his old love could be the killer, and he travels to her space colony to find the truth. Sojourn Series. Arriving in 2022. The Shanghai Incursion. Tom Loftus is accepted in the elite Special Ops Panther unit. By taking the position, He leaves the love of his life, Kath, behind in the rural town of Appleton, Vermont. They had planned to have a family and settle down in Appleton. Loftus leaves on a bus out of town, watching Kath slowly fade as he begins a new adventure. After intensive training following his prior 4 years in the service, Captain Loftus is assigned to the Asian Wars, where he meets his lifelong buddy Zach Grasso. Their adventures, bordering on science fiction, become legendary. Loftus loses many close friends in the 4 years on the Asian continent. He learns that Kath has married a local professor in Appleton. Loftus begins a drinking binge in Southeast Asia bars, nearly escaping death. His superior Frank DeLuca and his case officer Vernon Crawford, along with Zach, bring him back to reality. DeLuca arranges for Loftus to run the security for U.S. presidential candidate Nathan Alsworthy. Loftus is slated for a top intelligence position, with Alsworthy far ahead in the polls, until a fatal explosion near Long Beach and San Pedro harbors outside Los Angeles. Loftus ends up in San Francisco to meet a woman he met in the service. That does not work out, and he ends up in Coit Tower every night, where Zach eventually tracks him down. He reminds Loftus of how he always talked about owning a restaurant, and convinces Loftus to buy a rundown abandoned piece of property that they eventually convert to a new modern restaurant called The Loft. The story ends with Loftus lamenting the decision to join the Panthers because he lost Kath, and he dreams about what could have been. A passageway between worlds. The ancestors of humanity were connected to their planets by the essence of controlled energy called the intergalactic passageway. Sojourn. Tom Loftus was banished from all intelligence work because his mentor, running for president, died on his watch in a prodigious boat explosion. In Desperado, Loftus's old section boss Frank DeLuca is calling Captain Loftus back into action. The action is putting an end to an illegal scientific project that threatens human existence. But going back into action means seeing his lost love from years ago. In the shadows are beings not of this world, as Tom Loftus and his loyal compadre Zach lead elite troops forward into battle. They are eventually forced into the phantasm called the intergalactic passageway, connecting Earth with the planets of humanity's origin. Awaiting them are other worlds, vast armies, and Sard, the Vargat Emnas, now the leader of the Kriad realm. Loftus becomes immersed in the way of the perhaps mythical Tabern Shar as he prepares to do battle against Sard and his Kriad battle fleet. In the final test, a stunning surprise ending comes full circle. Desperado. The Vargat Emnas. The Suryarf Khan. Sojourn is divided into 3 books. Desperado, The Vargat Emnas, and The Suryarf Khan. A prequel, The Shanghai Incursion, will be arriving in 2022. Randy Crone, mega human good guy. How would you know if aliens abducted you? There are countless stories of humans forgetting what happened after spotting a UFO. Randy Crone is abducted, and then he could not remember. Yet, the powers bestowed upon Randy are clear evidence of a remarkable metamorphosis. Just what did they do to Randy Crone? Crone Man. Just returned from the Air Force, Randy Wilson uses his mechanic skills at Eddie's Quick Fix Garage in Camden Bay, New York. Randy's sister is harassed by the nefarious Junior Janice, a spoiled rich kid dabbling in criminal activities, even murder. After a beating by Junior's security men, Randy returns home. But that evening, he encounters a mysterious force that causes him to have no recollection of the next 2 days of his life. The quirky and annoying Eddie Conover, owner of Eddie's Garage, witnesses Randy turning into a bulky blue creature as he leaps to the top of the garage. Randy's detective friend, also observing Randy's incredible speed and strength, calls Colonel Briggs of a special division of the Air Force. After being shot in public view with no ill effects, Randy is brought by Briggs for observation at a secret location. Assisted by Lieutenant Fogarty, an attractive blonde Navy doctor, Randy is placed under hypnosis. The truth of the lost 2 days and the reality of Crone Man comes forth. Randy is returned to Camden Bay where he confronts Junior Janice and the heinous plot to kill the president.